The Unhealer, a 2020 film, opens with a mysterious ritual performed by Fluger, a drunk but determined man. He unearths a human skull from a sacred grave, unleashing an eerie white smoke that violently propels him backward. Sinister laughter escapes his lips, suggesting the accomplishment of a dark mission. Meanwhile, Kelly, an adolescent grappling with personal quirks, encounters his childhood friend and crush, Dominique, at a convenience store. His peculiar penchant for consuming paper has earned him the derisive moniker trash can among classmates. Trepidation stifles his desire to reconnect, but Dominique extends a ride offer, only to be vetoed by her friend Sarah due to concerns about cleanliness. Kelly's day worsens as he is mercilessly bullied by Nelson, Tony, Reed, and Brad. Dominique intervenes, further inflaming the bully's ire. The situation escalates until the store owner steps in, ending the confrontation. Dominique offers Kelly a ride, but Sarah refuses. At school, Kelly endures further ridicule from his peers, and at home, he evades divulging the bullying to his mother, Bernice, instead sharing a modest triumph, his first conversation with Dominique. Bernice suggests that Kelly ask Dominique out on a date. In a parallel narrative, Red Elk, an indigenous man, discovers the desecrated grave and offers solemn prayers, revealing that a concealed power within the grave has been stolen. Kelly's condition deteriorates from his unorthodox consumption habits. Bernice summons the family doctor, who insinuates that Kelly's eating disorder may be a manifestation of a deeper issue, and subtly pursues romantic interest in Bernice. Fluger materializes in town, touting newfound healing abilities. He showcases his powers by alleviating an elderly woman's joint pain, capturing Bernice's admiration. Enticed by the prospect of help for Kelly, she extends an invitation to Fluger. While Bernice steps away to retrieve her car, Red Elk confronts Fluger, warning him of the consequences of wielding powers not meant for him. Refusing Red Elk's aid, Fluger unleashes a powerful energy blast, injuring Red Elk. At Bernice's residence, Fluger attempts to heal Kelly, but an inexplicable pain forces a retreat. Consuming a peculiar substance, he tries again, inadvertently burning Kelly's chest with a cigarette before collapsing and dying. Curiously, Kelly's condition markedly improves, signifying a transfer of Fluger's healing abilities. Police arrive at the scene, attributing Fluger's death to a heart attack. Kelly observes his miraculously healed chest wound and newfound vigor. A bizarre transformation has occurred. In the following days, Kelly's extraordinary abilities manifest. He astonishes Dominique, Sarah, and even thwarts Reed's physical aggression, transferring pain to his aggressor. As rumors circulate, Gus, Reed's father and the school's football coach, confronts Kelly. Kelly finally confides in his mother, demonstrating his power to transfer pain. He withstands the searing heat of a cigarette lighter unscathed, leaving his peers astounded. Kelly's imagination inadvertently affects Dominique and Sarah, manifesting physical sensations they cannot ignore. At a night party, tensions escalate when Nelson crosses a line with Dominique, prompting Kelly to intervene. Gus warns Kelly of impending consequences and the potential discovery and destruction of his powers. As the party concludes, Brad and his friends target Kelly, intent on running him off the road. The enigmatic forces at play in this tale promise further intrigue and peril as the investigation into Kelly's newfound abilities deepens. Brad loses control of the car, and a catastrophic collision with Kelly ensues, leaving the young man seemingly lifeless beneath the vehicle. Astonishingly, when the dust settles, it is revealed that Brad's skull has been crushed, resulting in his untimely demise, while Kelly emerges unscathed. The specter of a malevolent force at play casts an eerie shadow over the scene. A gathering crowd bears witness to the inexplicable turn of events. In a clandestine exchange, Kelly divulges the enigma of his extraordinary gift to Dominique, who stands by his side. Nelson and his companions fabricate a false narrative for the authorities, asserting that Brad swerved to protect Kelly, who was purportedly obstructing the road during his cycling escapade. However, a preliminary investigation by Officer Adler absolves Kelly of any wrongdoing, raising questions about the true nature of his uncanny abilities. Red Elk receives word of Fluger's demise and embarks on an investigatory quest of his own. His analysis of the disturbed grave soil leads him to the unsettling conclusion that Fluger's power had waned before his death. Intrigued by Kelly's miraculous survival after the car incident, Red Elk tracks him down, initiating a confrontation about the origins of his newfound powers. A respite from the enigmatic forces arrives as Kelly and Dominique share a casual lunch at a local cafe, discussing cinema and kindling a deeper connection. Kelly and Dominique's budding romance is interrupted by the arrival of Nelson and his associates. They are intent on avenging Brad's death, unaware that Kelly now possesses extraordinary abilities. Under the shroud of nightfall, they await Bernice's departure for her night shift, intent on inflicting fear upon Kelly. However, Bernice's illness prompts her to skip work, altering the course of their malevolent plans. In a tragic turn of events, a chaotic sequence unfolds as they inadvertently drag Kelly's trailer home, unaware that Bernice is still inside. The ensuing chain of events culminates in a devastating explosion, claiming Bernice's life. Arriving at the scene, Kelly's futile attempts to rescue his mother leave indelible scars, both physical and emotional. Burn marks on his body draw Officer Adler's attention, prompting his admission to the hospital. Amid this tumultuous period, Red Elk approaches Adler, disclosing the extraordinary nature of Kelly's powers. Despite Red Elk's urging, Adler refrains from broaching the topic, recognizing the inopportune timing of such an investigation. The following day, Kelly miraculously heals his burn marks and attends his mother's funeral, finding solace in Dominique's presence. Their touching exchange reinforces their bond as Kelly contemplates leaving town. Subsequently, Kelly visits Fluger's grave, hoping to rid himself of his powers by consuming a peculiar weed. However, the experiment takes a terrifying turn as he falls violently ill and vomits. Sarah, an unsuspecting observer, witnesses the ordeal from a distance. In a further twist, Officer Adler transports Kelly to social services, discussing the circumstances surrounding his mother's accident. Kelly's conviction that the trailer's detachment was no accident sparks his investigative zeal. As Nelson and his cohort casually drive to a riverbend for respite, they cross paths with Officer Adler transporting Kelly. Their taunting is met with a sudden revelation by Kelly, who swiftly leaps from the moving vehicle to pursue them covertly. At the riverbend, amidst their leisure activities, Kelly employs a cunning tactic to incapacitate Tucker. The ensuing struggle culminates in Tucker's tragic drowning as Nelson and the others look on, horrified. Their frantic attempts to resuscitate their fallen comrade prove futile. As Kelly reveals himself as Tucker's assailant, Officer Adler arrives at the scene, precipitating Kelly's escape. The perplexing circumstances surrounding Tucker's death cast suspicion upon the remaining bullies. In the aftermath, Kelly confides in Dominique about his intention to avenge his mother's death. She, however, advocates for a more measured approach, urging Kelly to elicit confessions from Nelson and the others rather than resorting to violence. Their emotional connection deepens as they share a tender moment. The subsequent day finds Kelly deliberately provoking Tony, one of the bullies, in chemistry class, aiming to elicit a confession regarding Bernice's murder. A confrontation ensues, leading to a deadly consequence as Tony's actions inadvertently result in his own demise. Dominique's rage at Kelly's actions forces a parting between them, adding further complexity to the unfolding drama. Grief-stricken and vengeful, Sarah conspires with Nelson to harness a mysterious vine from the cemetery. On another front, Officer Adler stumbles upon a crucial piece of evidence, the chain used by the bullies on Gus's truck, raising suspicions and intensifying the investigation. The enigmatic forces at play continue to shape the course of events, as the town remains shrouded in uncertainty. The narrative reaches its climax as Kelly, driven by unwavering determination, descends upon the practice ground. There, he wields an electric drill while donning a garment borrowed from Nelson, the focal point of his pursuit. Kelly's intent is unequivocal. He intends to employ self-inflicted harm as a bargaining chip, extracting a confession from the alleged bully. The charged atmosphere crackles with tension as the standoff unfolds. In an unexpected turn, Nelson, demonstrating a premeditated resolve, reveals a vial of weed juice sourced from the enigmatic cemetery, deploying it as a countermeasure. With a well-timed spray, he briefly arrests Kelly's progress, introducing a momentary pause into the volatile proceedings. Officer Adler, ever vigilant in his role of maintaining law and order, intercedes in the mounting confrontation, imploring Kelly to desist from his self-inflicted torment. Yet Kelly's resolve remains unyielding, the electric drill relentlessly boring into his own knees, using pain as a catalyst to compel a confession from Nelson. In a pivotal juncture, Dominique arrives on the scene, her persuasive powers called into action to advocate for restraint. Amidst the tumultuous backdrop of chaos, Gus, a previously peripheral figure, seizes Adler's firearm, his actions fueled by a consuming rage. In an ill-fated sequence, Gus discharges his weapon, aiming it squarely at Kelly. Fate, however, conspires with a twist of irony, as the tumultuous act results in an inadvertent exchange of gunfire. In the ensuing maelstrom, both Gus and Nelson meet their demise, falling on the very ground they had sought to dominate. In the aftermath of this harrowing incident, Dominique assumes a pivotal role, guiding Kelly toward a path of relinquishing his extraordinary powers and returning to a semblance of normalcy. Officer Adler, too, aligns himself with Kelly's quest for resolution, leading them, along with Red Elk, to Fluger's cemetery. There, an ancient grave takes center stage in a ritualistic endeavor, Red Elk, a keeper of tradition and lore, expounds upon the belief that Kelly must relinquish his life to disentangle the enigmatic powers he unwittingly inherited. Confronted with the weight of this revelation, Kelly attempts an escape, but a vigilant police officer thwarts his efforts with a shot fired in desperation. The unintended collateral consequences of this action manifest as both Dominique and the officer succumb to gunshot wounds in a moment of profound tragedy. With mortal wounds, Kelly shares a poignant farewell with Dominique, their final moments marked by a tender kiss. His journey culminates in an act of profound symbolism as he consumes the heart of the deceased Fluger, a final step to sever the bond to his extraordinary abilities. The chilling denouement arrives as Officer Adler, facing a stark choice, extinguishes Kelly's life with a fatal shot. In the concluding scene, police officers convey the lifeless bodies of Dominique and Kelly in a van, the somber tableau of their fate taking shape. However, in a startling twist, the journey may not be at its end, as Dominique, presumed lifeless, stirs awake during the journey, hinting at an unexpected manifestation of healing power. The enduring mysteries woven into this intricate tapestry persist,